Anyone new? And today we're gonna talk about resilience. And I'll bring the questions here. I'll put the questions here on the chat. And yeah. And then we can start. Guys, I think I'll divide you in rooms. Wait a second. Yeah. So, please accept the invitation to go to room 2, and the other ones stay here with me in the main room. And then we can start to discuss about this topic. So here we go. Let's go. Oh, Jeff, yeah, he's now he's gone. So let's start, guys, this topic. First, I need you guys to introduce yourselves as always. So please, Charles, could you introduce yourself a little bit to the group and to the ones that are new to?
Hello, everyone. My name is Charles Lopes, 42 years old, married, 2 daughters. I currently live in Santarém City, north of Brazil, Pará State, Amazon Forest. I was born a long time ago in Brasília capital. I'm agronomy, and nowadays I work as a satellite measures analyst in the environmental sector here. That's it. That's all about me. I have been participating in TNT maybe since July, August last year, but not too often because I don't have too much time. But here I am. That's it, Luana.
So, thank you for answering it. So, Tiago, what about you? Could you introduce yourself too?
Sure, I'm Thiago. I live in São José dos Campos, countryside of São Paulo. I have 40 years old. I'm married. I have just 1 kid. Nowadays, I'm studying programming, Python, Django. That's it. That's it.
So, Maria, what about you? Could you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, hello, my name is Malu. I'm 25 now. I'm here on TNT since February. I love TNT, I'm addicted on TNT. I'm here to improve my English, of course. I used not to speak in English, but now I speak a lot here every day almost.
So, guys, let's start discussing about this topic. It's about resilience for Maria that just came here, and we're gonna talk about resilience today. So, can you see the questions, everyone? Can everybody see on the chat? So let's start then. So the first question is, do you consider yourself a resilient person, and why? So, Maria, could you start with this answering this one?
Yes, of course. Well, I think I'm developing this kind of skill. Some years ago, I probably wasn't. And it doesn't mean that now I'm 100% resilient, but I think I'm building it in the last years. So yeah, I think now I'm more resilient than before, but it's not enough.
What about you, Thiago? Do you consider yourself a resilient person, and why?
So nowadays I'm improving this skill. I think I need to improve this skill because I suffered sometimes some pressures in my family, in my work. Owing to nowadays I'm improving this ability, this skill.
So, what about you, Charlie? Oh my gosh, wait a second.
It's me?
Yeah, my computer started to put the
Don't worry. Don't worry, it's okay.
just go.
Yes, I guess I'm really resilient. And I used to tell or told everyone that I guess this is a most important quality of every person because we need to be resilient for achieve our goals, I guess. Yes, and I think I learned to do resilient since I was so young, and my mom teach us to be resilient because in that age, the thing it's not easy, and nowadays I think so it's not too easy to, and for you achieve your goals, your dreams, you should to be frequently and to try more than one time, I guess. That's it for today.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, yeah, I think that's the main idea. Like, when you're resilient, you try again and you never give up about your dreams and goals. So I think it's really important for everyone to be resilient because things are hard all the time. So if you give up, like you shouldn't, and I agree with you. So the second question is, why do you think resilience is an important skill? So Charles just answered. So let me see. Maria, could you answer this one? Why do you think resilience is an important skill?
Well, resilience is about solve problems and resist to some situations and adapt yourself to changes. And I think there isn't a life without problems, without challenges, without this kind of situation. So that's why it's an essential skill because it's part of life, and there isn't a life without it. Of course, each one of us pass by different things, different situations, but in general, all of us have problems and challenges to live. So that's why.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, Thiago, what about you? Why do you think resilience is important for you?
To stand the pressure of the day in your personal life, in your professional life. I think it's just that's it.
So yeah, I agree with you guys. I think that, I don't know, I think life is not always easy. So we always have challenges all the time. So you need to be resilient to keep going and to follow your dreams and your goals in life. Because yeah, it's not always easy. So yeah, I think I agree with you. And that's it. So the third question is, enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare. Do you agree with that? Like, with this quote? So, Maria, could you start with this one answering this question?
Yes. First of all, I'm not sure about the meaning of endurance. Could you help me, please? I actually I don't know this quote. I never heard. You are muted.
Yeah, I think that like I don't know how to explain with the in English. I need to search the translation. I shouldn't be doing that, but yeah, I'll put the translation here. It's like I don't know how to explain. It's like when you keep doing like the things like endurance, like I don't know how to explain.
Okay, perfect. Like consistency, something like that.
Like that.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think I don't know yet if I agree or disagree, but yeah, I think when we start something, we are more enthusiastic. We have more enthusiasm, and then during the time we lost a little bit, and that's why endurance is rare because the difficult is to keep the consistency, and I think that's the challenge. But I don't know if I agree or disagree for now. Probably I agree.
Yeah. So Tiago, what about you? Do you agree? What do you think about?
Well, I think owing to the pandemic, these both are common because there are several issues in our life owing to this pandemic.
Yeah. So Charles, what about you? What do you think about this quote?
Yes, I totally agree with this statement. I guess enthusiasm is often in our life, and it's difficult. We keep some ideas or some goals. I guess I can change this statement for enthusiasm. It's passion, and endurance. It's love. I guess it's difficult. We keep the passion, but when you love, you can keep your relationship or your vontade de conseguir. I forgot this word in English. Okay, that's it, Lana.
So yeah, I agree with you. You can say, I don't know. Yeah, let me search. Like you have a lot of options. Let me pick. I don't know. Let me search. So yeah, let's go.
I use the translate. I guess desire to get it.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. So the fourth question is, do you consider yourself capable of turning a bad situation into something great? And how often do you do that in your life? Like, can you do it? So, Maria, can you start answering this one?
Do you consider yourself capable of turning a bad situation into something great? Difficult one. I think I'm improving this ability. I wasn't. I used not to be this person. I was really pessimist. But after so many bad things, I think we start to see things in another point of view. So now, yeah, I think I can do it in some situations. How often? It's not every day. It's not always, depends on the situation, depends, of course, lots of things. But I think now I do more than before. So it's more frequently than some years ago. But it's difficult. Yeah, I think it's easier when we are trying to help someone. It's easier than with us.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's easier that way. I agree with you with this part. So, Charles, what about you? Do you consider yourself capable of turning a bad situation into something great?
Yes, I think so. It's difficult to talk about ourselves because sometimes looks like we a little metido. I don't know if I can say this. Oh my God, no, today is difficult. But I think so. I think I face some problems in my life, and I always face this problem with a good mood, and I can overcome this problem without problems, I guess. And I don't know how often, but it's happened a lot of times in our lives. Uh, I will not tell one example because I think I will be too long, but I guess. Like I start studying English because I have one problem. I don't pass in one test for the master degree in English, and because this I start studying English very hard. I guess it's an example. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So, Tiago, what about you?
I'm not. Mainly if it's about disease in my family, with my friends. When it's about work, a job, in this case it's easy for me. But always about disease, sickness. For me, it's too difficult.
Yeah, I see. I think, yeah, it's really hard because when you're talking about, like you said, sickness and those stuff, it's really hard to, I don't know, to even see it in a positive way. It's like, it's difficult, to turn it into something great, like we're talking about. So, yeah, the next question is, how do you deal with pressure at work or I don't know, everywhere? How do you deal with that? So, Maria, how do you deal with pressure?
Well, I think it's a good way to that helps me with something. For example, perfectionism and procrastination. So when I have deadlines to deliver something, the pressure of time, let me do it without thinking a lot and without playing a lot. That's a point. But in other situations, for example, I need to answer something in 1 minute, then it's a huge problem for me. So in some situations, I think pressure helps to deal with some characteristics that I have. For example, sometimes let it for another moment and procrastinate with some things that look looks difficult to do, or we try to prioritize another thing that's not a priority, but in another moment, it's not something good to deal with.
Yeah, so what about you, Tiago? How do you deal with pressure?
It depends. If there's a person or people involved, I try to speak with this person or people, try to understand the problem. And if there's a pressure with no one, just with me, I try to analyze the situation, the matter, with total concentration, and think about how can I say, I try to be on the person's place, and think what what this person would do in my place.
Yeah, that's a great point of view. Yeah, that's so. Charlie, what about you?
Yes, I think I can handle with in situations above pressure very well. I can manage it well, but I'm 42 years. I used to have a lot of difficult situation, and I guess we learn to manage and to handle with this. I guess nowadays I don't have too much problem. Oh, I grew up alone, I guess, without parents, and I guess in this situation we learn too early, too early, manage the things, and I guess I was pushed to learn this so early, and I guess nowadays I can handle very well. That's it. And you, I cannot, I don't see your or listen your answers too. How about you? Huh?
I think that with pressure, I think that when I was a little bit younger, I used to deal not very well with pressure. I used to get anxious and everything. But I think that nowadays I'm getting better with that. Like Maria said in the beginning, I think that I'm learning to deal a little bit with pressure. So yeah, that's it. So the sixth question is, do you consider yourself to have emotional intelligence? So Maria, can you start this one, please?
Well, I finished some weeks ago, I think a course about it from Conquer School. Maybe you heard about it. And it's interesting because some of the points they brought, I think I am developing, but some of them basically I need to start from zero. So in general, I think it's part of life. We use this kind of word or term as emotional intelligence too recently, right? I didn't hear about it, for example, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or I can remember. But when you start to understand what does it mean, I think, yeah, our life is about develop this kind of skills. So yes.
Yeah, you have a point. Like a few years ago, we didn't we usually didn't talk about this topic, and nowadays we're talking more about our feelings in general, our problems, anxiety, depression, and those stuff. Psychology is a topic nowadays. So I think emotional intelligence is something really important for us, and we didn't notice in the past, but now we are taking care about it more. And yeah, I agree with you. So Tiago, what about you? You consider yourself to have emotional?
No, I don't. I think it's difficult to dealing with emotional intelligence, at least to me. I don't have I have this difficult in my daily life.
Yeah, it's very difficult to have emotional intelligence like all the time. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's difficult. So yeah.
I think this quality, maybe you receive with the I don't know in the English, com o passar dos anos, with the nature in your life, when you get more mature within that adult life.
Yeah, I agree. It's like with your experiences and with time.
But
Yeah.
I've 40 years. I think I've never will get this competence.
But it's difficult. So yeah, we understand you. It's hard to have. So Charles, what about you? Do you consider yourself to have emotional intelligence now in your life?
Oh, well, at first, I read about this concept, but I don't know too much or exactly what this concept means. I guess I have some points in this way, but I think emotional intelligence it's too much complex than only to be a strong personality and to be assertive. I guess it's much more than this. It's about something like behavior in badly situation. And I don't think so. I have this skill to like tag. And I think we become in the uh, when we achieve some age, we become more moderate and not too emotional. But I think I'm not active this statement yet. I guess yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that like that's why I said that that emotional intelligence, it's really hard to have it, because like you said, you have to control your feelings in bad situations, for example, and for me that's really hard. So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with all of you, and I also don't consider myself to have, I don't know, 100% emotional intelligence. I sometimes I try, but it's really difficult. So yeah, I agree. And yeah, so let's go to the seventh question. And yeah, I searched this online, and it says that the C's of resilience are competence, confidence, connection, character, contribution, coping and control. So do you agree that that makes someone resilient or not? Well, like, what do you define as resilience? Do you agree that this is resilience? So, Maria, can you start?
Thinking about it because I never thought about what kind of characteristic is composed the resilience. I don't know. I think something is missing, but I don't know exactly what. So I don't know. It is just those things that are here. I will think about it. I don't know now. I can't answer now about this question. Thiago, help me, please. What do you think?
I'll give you the thing. So, Thiago, what about you?
Maybe must be too difficult because there are several skills in this C's: competence, connection, character, contribution. There's a lot skills for people to learn. I agree, but in this question, I think is very difficult to understand, to learn these competences. Confidence, connection, character. I don't know about contribution. Would fit in this case. Contribution on what? Contribution to help people, to help yourself. I didn't understand, but I think it must be this is in this case.
Yeah, I think that in this topic, in this search that I did, I think it was about helping others, I guess, but I also don't know. But yeah, I think that's it. But I agree with the fact that it's difficult to get there, like without those little things, it's difficult to have confidence, to have character. Not everybody has those stuffs. Like every little thing, it's hard. And imagine to get to the resilience thing. So I don't know. I think that it contributes to being resilient, but I don't know. What do you think, Charles? Do you agree?
Oh, I think it's enumerate good skills, but I can see the resilience in the more simple way. In my point of view, resilience is the capacity of the person to keep your dreams, so keep your goals and achieve them, I guess. Sometimes one or two this capacity can contribute for you achieve your goals, but I cannot disagree, but I can see in the other way, in the more simple way. But I think it's important you or everyone keep in your mind to develop this capacity, resilience. I guess it's important because nowadays the things become each day more difficult, and I guess we need to be resilient for achieve our goals. For you achieve one goal sometimes have many ways, and you only need to find the way you can work and achieve your goal. It's too complex to talk about this, but it's interesting. Thank you for bringing for us. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you brought to us the main idea of being resilient. So I agree with you. I think that it's about following, like we said in the beginning, it's about following your goals. So it doesn't matter the things that are in front of you, just keep going and you try to do your best. So Maria, do
I was
you?
thinking about it, and I don't think resilience is about, for example, competence. At the opposite, actually, sometimes you have competence enough, but some situations are not under control. So also, it's not about control, as the last word say. Because we can't control everything, and resilience is exactly about that, about know that in situations you can control. For example, lots of people are super competent, and they don't have control about the pandemic, so they lost their jobs because of problems in companies. And it's not about you don't have confidence about you or competence, but understand that some things are not under control, and we will pass about this kind of situation. So thinking more about these elements, I think it's not exactly about competence and control, especially. I think I'd agree about the C's.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that, for example, like you said, some things are not in our control. So it doesn't mean that we're not resilient, but something happened and we can't control that. So we can avoid that. So it's not that we are not searching for another job if we lose it, for example, but it's because we lost it and we can't do anything about it. So yeah, the problems are coming. You can change that, but you try to keep going. So that's the difference. And that's the point. I agree with that, what you said. So yeah, we have the last question here is, do you think that the social status influence your ability to be resilient? I mean, like it's easier for people of a higher social status to be resilient. For example, let me explain this better. Let me see. For example, someone with, I don't know how to say this in English. Can you see this on the chat? So someone with this social status, they, for example, they lost their job. Of course, it's hard for them to have and to search for another one. Like everybody, it's difficult nowadays to have another job. But for someone with a lower social status, for them, it's really hard depending on where they live, on how they go to work, on the hour they go to like transport themselves and everything, and their family and all those difficulties to have another job with like well-paid job. So do you agree that it's difficult for them to be resilient depending on the situation than the others with a better social status? Bringing this point, like for example, person A with the, I need to search this in English. Wait a second. So, middle class. I don't know why I forgot this. Middle class, it's simple. So someone from a middle class, do you agree that, yeah, it's like, for example, person one from middle class, they lost their jobs. Of course, it's difficult for them, and they are searching for another one. And yeah, they're gonna get it sometime, someday, but it's difficult. Okay, we all agree it's difficult. But we have person two from a lower class, and they, for example, they need food, and for example, to transport themselves, they need to go by bus. So, for example, oh, I need a job, and I need to get there at 6 a.m. And the one that has a car, they go and their house is near their work, so they just wake up at 5:15. And the other one needs to get up early, and they need to take care of their kids to bring them to school. So there's a lot of things. So the point is, I'm just trying to give you examples. Do you agree that maybe the social status changes your way of being resilient? So, Maria, could you start answering this one?
Yes, of course. Well, I'm not sure about that, but I think vulnerable people are more able to be resilient than people who have more conditions, because vulnerable people are frequently in front of difficult situations where they need to find solutions. And that's why I, of course, I'm not 100%, because also it can turn these people more tired about always trying to fight about something, you know. But I think vulnerable people are more able to be resilient than who have more money, because people who have more conditions can find solutions or other kind of solutions that vulnerable people can't. So vulnerable people need to be more creativity, and you know, they need to fight more. And I think it's a point to make them more resilient. But it's difficult. It's a difficult one.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because we also have the point where someone with a lot of difficulty, they have like a great story to tell, that they get there and they follow their dreams and they are really great at being resilient. So yeah, we have different situations, but I think that it's difficult a little. It's more difficult for someone with a lower social status. It's like a little of a point. So, Charles, what about you? Do you agree with this one or not? What do you think?
Yes, Anna raised some good points, and I need to agree with her. But answer this question. I don't think resilience it's related to social status. I don't think so. Like I said, I agree with Anna. I guess the vulnerable people tends to be more resilient. But I guess resilience it's a skill that you can acquire. It's called acquire. You can build in your characteristics. And I think I have one example. I guess Steve Jobs, it's a resilient guy. So it's an example for me, and I can show some other example. There poor people that they have a resilience and achieve a big goals and big dreams. I think it's not related, but I guess, and one more time, I agree with Anna. The most of poor people develop resilience because the situation. I guess that's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, Tiago, what about you? Can you answer this question?
Sorry. Sure. In my book, the social status, my social status didn't influence myself in this case. But I agree with Maria. I think poor people can get develop this skill because of the difficult in our daily life than the rich people, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Maria. I called you Anna all the time. Sorry for that. Wow.
Relax, no problems. Can you call me Malu too?
Sorry.
So guys, I'll bring people back to the main room and then we can discuss more. Just wait for them to come. And then we're gonna discuss about this topic, everybody together. Wait a second. Yeah, so they're coming back. Here we go. Welcome, guys. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Luana.
Hello, Monica. So, Monica, how was the topic in your room? Could you talk
The,
about?
the topic was awesome. I love everyone in my room. It's a very kind conversation.
Did you practice your English?
Yes, I practice a lot. I think all of us in my room have the chance to speak a little bit about this subject that is very important to us and try or improve our English, try to speak better. I think that's an amazing conversation.
That's
It was
great.
amazing.
So, Jeffrey, what about you? How was it for you in your room? Could you talk and discuss? I think you're muted. Yeah.
Great discussion, interesting. Great discussion, interesting. I couldn't speak more.
So, Melissa, what about you? Did you like the topic? How was it?
Yes, I really like the topic. And we were speaking about emotional intelligence when you brought us back. And Samia said something that made me feel very glad, very happy about our country, Brazil. She said in her school, they are also teaching emotional intelligence in a way. She explained it to us. But it's very good to know that they are doing this to our children in Brazil nowadays. They are worried about it, at least in her school. I hope in more schools too. It was very good.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. We said in the main room, wait a second, guys. We said in the main room that in the past, people, they wouldn't talk a lot about emotional intelligence. And nowadays, it's more common to talk and to bring this topic to the group. So it's really important to develop emotional intelligence, and it's something really, yeah, that's interesting. Bye-bye, Monica. See you next week. So, Samia, talk a little bit about what you said in another room, please. I'm interested.
Oh my God. Okay. So, because of the NCC, our national curriculum, they guide us to implement in our classes, a way to talk with children about social intelligence, So in school where I work, they have a moment when they read stories, a lot of stories, different situations, from yeah, from their own, how can I say this? Do cotidiano. So they talk about, they discuss about, and they have opportunity to say, oh, what would you do in this situation, and think, is that action correct or not? How would be a better way to solve this problem, for example? So they have this moment during the week.
Oh, that's great. And that's important too, I think. So somebody left. I didn't see who left. But yeah, I think that's really important. So I think we have 4 minutes, guys, left. So I think that's it, guys. I hope you like this topic. And I think, yeah, I hope you guys come next week, and I hope we can talk and discuss more about other topics. So thank you for coming today. And I love to see you here. And I think there were some new faces here that I've never seen before, but the other ones are the oldest here. I know you from a long time. Yeah, and we're already close. So yeah, so the new ones here, so thank you for coming. And the other ones, I hope I see you next week, please. And that's it, guys. Thank you. I love to see you here. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Luana. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jeffrey.